In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace this front seat back heating element in this Chevy Tahoe. Let's get into it. We're going to take this cover off. You want to move the seat all the way forward. I'm going to use a trim tool. Just get underneath here and just pop it up. There's a little retainer. It's holding that on. It's going to have to go back in here. Just push that in there. And we can access the bolt. We're going to use an E14 socket for both bolts. And take those bolts out. There's two nuts on the front. You're going to want to use an E20 socket. If you don't have an E20 socket, you can substitute with a 6.15 millimeter socket. That works as well. Just use a magnet. Take that nut off. You can see that nut. And just use a trim tool, get underneath here. There you go. That's just clipped in. Now the same, I'm going to use a 15 millimeter socket. Take this nut off. Now I move the seat forward, and then underneath here we can lift up on the seat. Just want to take this cover off here. You just pull it up. You can see where the connectors are. Because this vehicle has airbags in the seat, before we disconnect the connector, we're going to disconnect the battery. Use a 8 millimeter wrench. Loosen up the negative side terminal. And set that aside. Now I can disconnect the connector, just push down on the tab, slide that off. Then this is the connector for the airbags. There's a little lock tab there. Just want to pull that off. Pop the connector off, just like that. Just lift up, it slides off. Now grab the seat. Slide it up and out. Take this side panel off. I'm just going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. Take these screws out. Pull this cover out, and you can see where you can disconnect the connectors. Push down on the top connector, slide that out, and there's a little tab right here. You just lift up on that tab. I'm just going to use a pick. Just pop this up a little bit. And slide that out. Using a trim tool, I'm just going to pop these connectors up. Then we want to disconnect the connectors. It's a little tab. Just push on the tab. Slide that up. There's a tab right there. Slide that out. They're loose. We have two nuts we want to take off. Use a 13 millimeter socket. Take those nuts out. push the cushion forward slightly, and then down below, down here, you can see where the back side of the cushion is secure. So when we slide the cushion up, just like that, and it'll slide right out. We may have some more wiring harness we have to disconnect. There's one right here. Pull that lock tab up and just push down. Just push down on the tab. Slide that connector out. There's two more. The green one right here. I'm just going to use a pick. Slide that one out, and then the other connector right here. And the wiring harness over here. Just using a trim tool. Pop this out, and then we can pop the connector off. Sometimes that retainer is a little tricky. I'm just going to pop it off and just slide it out. And fish that wire through. And there's the seat cushion. With the seat tipped back, we can see where we need to unhook this. You want to use a pick or a trim tool, and it's almost zippered into each other. You want to just get underneath it. Just try to pry this up. Comes out like that. So it's like, you can see where it kind of folds into each other. They clip onto each other right there. So you want to pop that off. And you want to unwrap the seat. There is Velcro holding this in. On some vehicles, there may be hog rings holding these on, and you're just going to have to cut those off. They look like little staples. Peel this up. For the armrest, there is a clip on the inside that holds the armrest on. You want to feel up in there, and you really can't see anything. You're just going to have to do this blind and push up on that clip and just try to get that out. You might need a screwdriver or a pick. And grab the armrest. You should be able to slide it off. Once the clip's out, comes out. There's two push pins. You just want to use a trim tool. Pop those push pins out. Right there, and then there's one on the other side. Pop those out. We can unfold this. And at this point, we can see all of the heating element. We really don't have to lift this up anymore. I can peel the element up. It seems like it's peeling some of the foam, that's okay. If you want to make it a little easier, using a heat gun helps a little bit. Just be careful, you don't want to melt the foam. There we go, that's up. Then follow the wiring harness. Just using a trim tool, slide that out. You can see where there's a wire tie. You just want to cut that wire tie right there. And it's clipped in over here. And just pop that out. Use a screwdriver. And it slides right out. Take the seat element. The way this is wired, this would have to be secured down this way, and we don't have enough room for the wires, so we're actually going to flip this over. We're going to put this in upside down. When we take the tape off, the tape is going to stick to the cover, not necessarily the cushion, and that's okay. If yours is different, then you want to have the wire coming out on this side so that you have plenty of slack. You can actually run the wire now, connect the connector, line that in place right there. That's okay. Now take the backer off. Just get everything lined up the way it needs to sit. I'll take this backer off as well. That's good right there. And very carefully start folding this back in place. You can actually stick the cover down. Before we slide the cover down, you want to make sure you put this clip back in position. So fold the seat back here, and you can take a magnet and just try to find the clip. And then we want to slide this clip right onto here. And it's just going to slide in place like that. That looks good. It's just a little spring clip. I can put the cover the rest of the way on. Get it all the way down. Then you want to push in the center, reattach the Velcro, and on the sides. Looks pretty good. And now the push pins, you want to line those up, push those in. And you can fold where the seat comes together. Fold this piece into it. There we go, that's locked in. Now put the lower seat cushion on, run the wire through. Through, and then there's another wire that goes through here. This wire can connect to that sensor right there, and put the lock in. And this wiring harness is going to lock in right here, just like that. slide that connector in there. That's good. Or the retainer. Now connect these connectors on the side. Line that up, lock it down. This one over here. Lock that in place. And the green connector, connect those two together. Lock that down. Now slide the bottom two retainers into the seat. And push down. Get these studs to line up. Now put the nuts on. Tighten those down. Now connect the connectors. Line that up, and then push the retainers in. Make sure that one's locked in place. Now on the side cover, put these connectors in place. Lock those down. Get this lined up. Take all the screws, get those all started. And snug these down. Now we're going to install the seat back into the vehicle. Now connect the connectors, airbag connector. Lock that down, and a little lock, you want to slide that in place. That just goes like that. And the seat connector, line that up, and lock it down. Now we can hook up the battery, the negative terminal, tighten that down snug, and then give it a wiggle, make sure it's tight, it's good. The bolts in, you can get these started. Make sure the front studs are in the right locations, and then you can tighten these down. Now we're going to torque the bolts to 41 foot-pounds. And put the cover on. And this cover is going to go on in the back. Lock it down. Now put the nuts on, get those lined up. And tighten the nuts down. Now we'll torque these to 41 foot-pounds. Now take this cover, line it up, and lock it in place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.